It's not easy turning a children's book into a 90-minute animated film and actually make it good. When they would come up, they would most likely fail. A good example of that is last year's Mars Needs Moms. There are a few times when Hollywood would try to take their hands on something from Dr. Seuss and try to make it a big hit. Some cases, yeah, and some cases, hell no. But now that it's the Lorax turn to go into the big screen, will it grow into a well-made environmental film? Or will the Lorax get a big carbon footprint marked on his butt? Let's find out. The story. In the movie, there are two different stories it's trying to tell us. There's the original story from the book, and a completely made-up plot for the film. The best way to describe it is that what's in the book works, and what isn't, doesn't. Allow me to explain. Whatever they could adapt from the book is where the strongest parts of the film are. It's where the message takes effect the most, and where it has the most character development. In the made-up plot, however, there are several plot holes that leaves questions unanswered, like about some people's thoughts on trees and stuff. Also, the reason that motivates the characters to do something is just weak. You know the reason why this is all happening is because some kid has a crush on a redhead? Yeah, not for the environment, nor because he's interested in nature. It's because of a girl. Yeah. Anyways, another flaw that the movie has is that it suffers from something that I like to call DreamWorks syndrome. It's when a film relies most of its humor on pop culture references and modern songs. Every time that happens, it just becomes unfunny. But when its own humor appears, then it becomes funny. The best writer in the movie is pretty much Dr. Seuss, because what's added to fill in the movie needs a bit of work. The animation. Without a doubt, the animation is the strongest point of the movie. The obvious point being that this is the most colorful animated film I've seen in a while, and the way they use it to suit the mood really works. Because of this, it makes the background animation the strongest element of the animation. With the style of an urban Dr. Seuss and the very creative cars and structure of the homes really fits the theme of the movie. When it comes to the characters, the character animation is well done, but then there's the character design. I know that it's the original design of the doc himself, but I feel like it doesn't really translate well to computer animation. Now, I know that this isn't the first time there was a computer animated Seuss film with Horton Hears a Who, but here's the thing. In Horton, there's a bunch of weird Seussical creatures like the Who's and all these different animals. In the Lorax, though, there's only people, bears, birds, and fish, and it just doesn't look right with some of their eyes so close together, especially when most of the characters aren't from the book. On the other hand, I will give them credit to keep it in the Dr. Seuss style. The people who gave tribute the most to the doc, and the ones who really got the job done in this movie, are the animators. The characters. Okay, let me start off with the characters that I like, which are the Onceler and Saint Lorax. You'll understand why I call him that if you saw the film. The only reason why I like these characters is because they are the only ones with character development and their own personalities, and the film would get really interesting when they interact. The only problem I have with them is that the Lorax doesn't appear on screen that much, and the Onceler, just lose the guitar, man. The rest, on the other hand, end up being either one-dimensional or taken from another film. Let's start off with Audrey, who is just the love interest of the movie. Then there are the bears and the fish, who are pretty much the minions from Despicable Me. Seriously, they both only babble talk, they all look slightly different from each other, and they're only there to make the kids laugh. There's also the main villain of the film, which is O'Hare, who reminds me way too much of Lord Farquaad from Shrek. He also looks like if Farquaad had a baby with Edna from The Incredibles. Then there's Grammy, who reminds me a bit of the granny from Hoodwinked. The rest, like Ted's mom or the Onceler's family, are there just to make a stupid pop culture reference or a dumb modern joke. Finally, there's the main character, Ted. I kept him for last because there's one thing about him that really bothers me. It's not the character himself, nor that he's voiced by Zac Efron. It's that he's just a kid. He's always in love with Audrey, but seriously, just comparing the two, Ted is smaller and he looks like a kid. It's just that they're taking this like a Disney movie, like he's destined to love her forever. But, like I said, he's just a kid! Other than two, the characters are simply copy-paste from every other film that the makers saw. Even their own. The songs. Yeah, there are some musical numbers in this film, and I gotta say... I know that there isn't a lot, but they are just so bad, it's unavoidable to talk about. All there is just attempts of modern pop songs and a rap song, and they are just terrible. It doesn't really help that I'm not a fan of today's modern songs where I'd have to listen to the same ones everywhere I go. Now, what irritates me the most about this is that they're not the worst songs ever made, like the animated Titanic's Rapping Dog or Rebecca Black. It's just that it's unnecessary. Don't burst into song about what you're doing or how you feel. Just give us a montage of it. Or just, well, I don't know, do it! I know that's the point of a musical, but this is not a musical! They just come out of nowhere without warning, and there isn't a lot of them either! And come on, this is the Lorax! Do we really need crappy songs like this? Or this? Or even this?
How bad can I be? I'm just doing what comes naturally.
The only reason why they are made is just because they gotta hit that 90-minute mark. All I could say now about the songs is just, never again, movie. Never do that again. The Lorax is overall a mixed bag. I'm definitely not saying it was great, but I'm not saying it was a terrible film either. On one hand, what isn't from the book is just pointless, dumb, confusing, and mediocre like most of the characters and the atrocious songs. But on the other hand, what is from the book is well adapted, it's where all the emotion and character development is from, and it's where the message is strong. If you guys want to watch this though, I must warn you, and this goes for The Secret World of Our Yeti as well. The film contains hypnotic powers, and it turns people into brainwashed slaves, filling their heads with evil liberal propaganda! Yeah, it's some bullcrap that Fox is whining about. It's nothing new. They did it to the Muppets as well. I think Miss Piggy says it best.
It's almost as laughable as accusing Fox News as, being news.